We're back on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is, of course, Expresso on S3. And we've got to reflect on something that Tata Mandela said. And he said, education is the most powerful weapon that, of course, can change the world. And I have to agree with that. And today, we are definitely seeing a reflection of this. We're about to talk about a fresh way to learn with the Koa Academy. It's an online school that focuses on personalized education with smaller classes and also more interaction and tailored support. I think that's very important for each student's needs. Now, this approach to education is just transforming the learning experience. And to share more about this is the principal and also co-founder of Koa Academy, Mark Anderson. Mark, welcome.
Good morning, Carissa.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
I'm telling you, if I had a president with this friendly, not president, also a president, a principal
yet, yeah.
with this friendly face, I would say, yes, learning can be welcoming and so easy. But Mark, we've got to talk about this. Such an incredible thing you and your wife have started. Online learning from grade 4 all the way up to grade 12 students.
Yes.
That has clearly opened up so much space for people to step into education that may not have been given the opportunity before. So
Yeah.
I want to get into the gaps in the traditional education system. What did you see was missing and how did you guys step into that?
Yeah, Carissa, that's really what prompted us to start Koa Academy. I think as parents and as teachers, for ages, we've really wanted to see change in the education system. When you think about our traditional model of schooling, it hasn't changed significantly really for decades. And we know that it's outdated. And for us at Koa, one of the things that we're particularly passionate about is the idea of individualized education. A man named Benjamin Bloom summed it up in what he calls the 2 Sigma problem. It all boils down to this idea that if you want to change educational outcomes, in other words, if you want marks in South Africa to go up for schools across the country, you need to move more and more towards one-on-one teacher-to-student ratio. Now, we know that in our current model, that's not possible.
Right.
We're actually going the wrong way with that in traditional schooling, where we have more and more students in the classroom. What we did at Koa is we looked at the online space and realized there are opportunities in the online space to use tools and approaches that are very different to what we've seen before in traditional education that really allow us to provide a much more flexible, individualized approach to schooling.
Sure. And that is such an exciting turn of events in South Africa. I mean, yes, there may be a slight digital gap that's being closed day to day, but honestly, online education, it feels like this is where the future is at for sure. And I wonder what unique advantages you've seen in this online learning space that may not have been present before.
What, is this an hour segment? How long do we have? I could talk about this for ages. I mean, I think, imagine with me a student, let's say grade 10, sits down to do school in the online space. Rather than being in a classroom of, let's say, 30, 40 students working at the same pace on the same material with a teacher, that student is able to access their work through courses and platforms that are set up to deliver the content and do ongoing assessment and feedback in a way that is set up specifically for that individual at their own pace. And the teacher is then freed up to do what teachers do best, which is facilitate learning. So the teacher can now move around online in small groups of students, providing much more focused support for each of those students, rather than being focused on content delivery. It's really an amazing way to do schooling.
And I love that because I remember being in maths class, for example. It was never my strong point, and I always felt like I was lagging behind the other students. They already had split us into classes that would accommodate the different paces of learning, but honestly, I needed more assistance. I needed more help.
That's right.
I can see where that definitely would come in. When it comes to subjects, we cover the traditional subjects that you
Yes, we're registered with the IEB, which is the Independent Examinations Board, so we follow the same curriculum as any physical school in South Africa, but we do it in a much more applied, unique way.
Oh, that is beautiful. Okay, we are celebrating Hope this October, and Hope is such a special thing that I think we need to encourage and celebrate day to day. How do you feel Koa plays into Hope and offering that to South Africans?
I love your theme of hope for the day. I think it's so important for us. Hope is not something that we just need when the sun is shining. Hope is something that we need when we see something that we're striving for. We have to be brave. We have to be proactive. That's how I feel about education in South Africa at the moment. I'm very hopeful with my safety harness fully on because I'm aware of the challenges that we're experiencing in South African schooling. But I'm looking at developments that are happening, things like Koa, but I don't think there's one silver bullet for education in South Africa. I'm seeing parents having more options than they've ever had before. options like Koa, I think, used to be seen as very alternative options for outliers. I think what a lot of parents are realizing is my child doesn't fit any mold, and I need a schooling approach that's much more tailored to this particular individual. And having more options is really important for parents.
No, I agree
I'm
with
excited about educational future.
Same, definitely. And you're doing such a phenomenal job. Mark, thank you for contributing to our education in this sense. You said grade 4 to 7, just quickly.
4 to 12.
4 to 12,
yes,
sorry, grade 4 to 12.
Yeah.
Where can people register? Is there a cutoff date?
No cutoff date. We actually do enrollments throughout the year. We're busy enrolling for 2025. And very excitedly, we have just launched Koa Academy, which is an offshoot of Koa Academy. It's a home language Afrikaans campus for students to learn in their mother tongue of Afrikaans. And so that's going to be launching for grades 6 to 8 in January. But we're taking enrollments for grade 4 to 12 for our main campus already.
Incredible. Yes, we want to give him an applause all around. Mark, thank you so much for being here today. And we're going to have him back soon, okay, to talk about the scaling of Koa Education and Koa Academy. Can't wait to get into that. For now, though, maybe you've worked up an appetite. It is the morning after all. We're getting into weekend special feels. So, Zanele, what do you have for us?